Good morning. Last night was ladies' night out, my wife's ladies' night out. She tries to have dinner with her friends once a month when these guys let her. Our daughters and I encourage it because it's good for her, and we get to have children's night. Rules are relaxed, and we all hang loose. Dance contest, late bedtime, all the works. Last night, the girls and I conspired to treat my wife and Mommy as if she were a common animal, a common prey animal. We were Leslie Banks as Count Zaroff, and she was Fay Ray and Joel McCrae. First, a little orientation. Front entrance to stately Brink Manor. 2 gateposts, short trail to steps, and sheltered doorway. Turning left, this northern walkway, and the smaller moss garden. Dirty Dan visible, leaning against a rock. This is an old anchor, very, very old, possibly like Stone Age old. Camera girl and I found it. Urban exploring in an abandoned hotel on Drunken Hermit Island. Beautiful find. If we hadn't rescued it, it would have gone to the landfill. Turning again to face the door and turning right. We have this low L-shaped deck that wraps around the west and south, and the L-shaped larger moss garden. This is, what the... Dirty Dan, how did you get over here so fast? You were just over... never mind. Moss and Rock Garden. You can see that we come by our affection for megaliths honestly. Beautiful rock here. Dirty Dan for scale. Our house has a front and a back door. We agreed that Mummy would probably use the front door and probably use this trail entering from the west. She could push through the hedge, but we felt that was unlikely. The hedge approach would also force her to deal with our moat. Now, she could also use this walkway approach from the north. Possible. Or the deck approach from the south. Very unlikely. She would enter probably from the west, between the gateposts, and possibly from the north down this walkway. We decided to sit the trail cam on this deck. Just plop it right down on the deck. Tonight we'll test tying it to a tree. This first test was set up not set up to fail, but to be a bit challenging. The manual says, in Chinese English, I think it says, the lowest or shortest camera trigger is 5 seconds from censoring movement. 5 seconds. I thought, that's kind of long. Now, you don't want a half-second trigger, or else you'll be snapping photos at every slight breeze or every moth flying by. I get that. But 5 seconds? That felt kind of long from motion sensor activation to triggering the camera. Well, okay, 5 seconds. We gave Mummy every chance to get from behind this hedge, across this short trail, and into the sheltered doorway. We gave her every sporting chance. Now, if she were so foolish as to come down this walkway, then no mercy and no quarter given. Well, Mummy may be many things, but she's not foolish. And she has a tremendous sixth sense, many times demonstrated to us three. Probably her best asset, as she walked unsuspecting into our trap. This morning we sent out Camera Girl in her PJs to fetch the camera. The camera was set on the lowest image resolution, the lowest and poorest. Tonight we'll try the highest. Well, the camera obviously works, but did it catch Mummy? From hedge and gate posts to sheltered doorway, she had to cover approximately 2 meters. Very approximately the distance between trees in the forest. Now, no one knows how the Hibagon behaves when no one is watching, or when he thinks no one is watching. Schrodinger's Hibagon. Does he move stealthily like a ninja even when he thinks he's not being observed? Can he sense the infrared sensor? Well, there is evidence that he can. See, Hibagon could defeat this camera by pausing behind the hedge, taking one giant stride into the sheltered doorway. That would take a lot less than 5 seconds, maybe 1. And never trigger the camera. Mummy could do it too. She had no reason to loiter outside, especially as it was raining last night. Did we get her? We did. Ladies and gentlemen, we got her. So that 5 seconds to trigger is, I think, overstated, and that's good. Mummy may be slower and less slippery than your average Hibagon, but this was a good first test. And Mummy, at least, was not alerted to any noise or infrared flash, or indeed to the trail cam itself. I don't have an SD disk port on either of my computers at home or at work. Luckily, you can preview shots right on the trail cam. I think you can take these SD disks to 7-Eleven and so on and print out shots on their printers. I'll look into that. But brilliant results from our first test. Thank you, Mummy, for your unwitting, non-consensual participation. Thank you for walking right into our trap. Tonight, camera set on highest resolution and strapped to a tree in the park. Maybe we'll get some local wildlife, some cats and dogs, maybe some young lovers. We are not expecting a Hibagon in this environment. Thank you, mystery donor. We are promoting you. Now, this is a field promotion. You are not allowed to refuse it. We are promoting you to game clerk. Ladies and gentlemen of Team Hibagon, this modest man has tremendous experience hunting everything from varmints to big game. The game clerk and I will be discussing trail cam positions and priorities later this afternoon. When we decide on a plan, I will tell you, or maybe not, because, you know, game clerk and I will talk about that. If you want to be a member of the game clerk's privy council, donate a trail cam. You can join the conversation and have a say in where to put it. If it's possible, and not too life-threatening, I'll try to put it wherever you tell me. Now, the sky clerk, or firmament clerk, Mike Ayinger, and I are now in two-way communication. Mike is on Sauron's naughty list. He has been a bad boy, and he might suffer from oppositional defiant disorder, as does yours truly, which is why Mike is not permitted to comment here, and the growth of this channel may be artificially throttled. But no matter, Team Hibagon is, and always will be, I think, an elite core. We do not really try to appeal to the masses. We leave them to enjoy their state and tech tyrant programming. Well, I hope to discuss something with Mike and benefit from his advice, and also learn how to say his name. I have an idea for a project that might be very interesting, but again, I want to discuss this with Firmament Clerk Mike first. It might be a stupid idea, in which case it doesn't have to go any further than Mike. Okay, coming videos, in no particular order. A Team Hibagon organizational chart. I have a cunning plan. Results from our second trail cam test. And of course, back to Hibagon 101 and the sightings. Oh, the Ike no Dan. Step of the pond, or pond step. I have an idea what it means and why it has that name. You are going to slap your forehead and say, "Oh, how obvious that is." Also, Monumental Mound Building 101. Colossal mounds made easy. I will show you exactly how this artificial cone was built. And it's so easy. I think it only needs one video to convert every skeptic into a dedicated believer. Not even a believer, an understander. And remember, this channel was never going to be only about the Hibagon. That's why I didn't call it the Hibagon channel. Otherwise, when we finish the book covers all known information. Videos would be few and far between. Now, we will finish the book, and then sadly one day Hibagon videos will be fewer and farther between. But we have lots of other wonderful topics to explore and books to write about metal detecting in Japan, about megaliths and that whole culture, about Kokeshi dolls, and the evil, wicked academic fraud, academic and government fraud, a conspiracy of lies that surrounds them. I'm going to go to battle with these guys, and if they think they're not vulnerable, and no one sees or cares what they are blatantly doing, they are wrong. I think a whole book on biblical knowledge fossilized into Chinese and Japanese characters would be nice. And I dream one day of writing a complete topical study of clothing through the Bible. Clothing throughout the whole Bible and its consistent metaphorical use and teaching. Consistent beginning to end, which seems impossible, but some of us know that all things are possible. That fascinates me. But anyway, don't worry, we will press, like a wine press, every drop of juice that we can out of this Hibagon topic. and never be done with it. Okay, I'm Kyle for Hibagon, Japanese Bigfoot. Thank you again, and congratulations to our game clerk, and we'll be back very soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.